Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego site emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can plow those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. Oh, I'm going to adjust this. Oh, there we go. Great. You can say hi, or you can use other people's emotes, or you can make this choice if you wanted to. You don't have to say anything at all. You don't have to chat. But I hope you're doing well. Aristofan's here. Hello, Aristofan. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. We got our regulars in there. Bobby Dice Roller's here, subscribing at tier 1. That's 16 months, currently on a 16-month streak. Thank you so much for that. We got to go and hit the old applause. 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 First sound cue of the night. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, Bobby, for renewing that. Thank you for the year-end change of being a subscriber. Appreciate that very much. Welcome to everybody. It's Saturday. I'm gonna build a model kit. Working on the Seravee Gundam Scheherazade. By the time we finish this kit, I will have confidence in saying the Seravee Gundam Scheherazade. It's not said how it's spelled. So, but I was corrected on Thursday that it's Scheherazade. So I will say Scheherazade. That is the kit, the Seravee Gundam Scheherazade. Interesting things about this kit as we kind of wait and see if people want to join us tonight. Some of the parts, like this, of the Seravee style parts, are from the year 2008. That's when these were. This could have been printed again, but this was designed in 2008. So this 2008 plastics. And then some other parts, which are more of the Scheherazade segments, are from the year 2018 when this kit came out. So stuff like this, which is like the outside armor, is more modern, which is interesting. Hey, Ghost Valve also subscribed with Prime. That's 7 months, saying Scheherazade sub. Appreciate that. And of course, thank you very much for also renewing your subscription. I appreciate that very much. Throwing in the emotes. Yeah, let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site emote for Bobby and for Ghost Valve. I'm usually fast on the emotes, but I didn't because I also am not fully used to using the Stream Deck, which I enjoy very much having. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not as used to it yet. But anyway, yeah, this is one of these kits where to put it in alphabetical order of the parts, it's very clear what are the old parts and what are the new parts. Because we go from A, B, and D. Those are parts from 2008. And then we have H, I, J, and K. And K are like very small, weird little segments here. And those are very clearly newer parts. Also, how you know this was I guess we did this and this and this. Check this shit out. This is weird. Honestly weird. We got two different polycap. We got numbers and we got letters. Because, like, they must have, someone would have been like, oh, we need extra stuff. So we got numbered and lettered polycaps. And that will definitely let you know that this is some old shit. Let's see. We've got polycaps from 2008. And then polycap leftovers, which I assume are not from the year, but this is when they created this one. Hello, welcome Breaking. This is 1999 on it. These polycaps say 1999. Obviously, I don't expect this has been sitting in a warehouse since 1999 until 2018 when they produced this kit. But it's just that thing of like, yeah, these are like, we're not going to use a lot of these, but apparently it was necessary to do. That's wild to me. Anyway, we've talked long enough. It's time to get in there. I should say, if you want to renew your subscription, if you want to gift a sub, if you want to do bits, coins, now would be a great time to do that. We got about a minute left before maybe a hype train would start. I'm not saying we need a hype train. I am saying it's fucking cool. So if you were thinking, oh yeah, I'll renew my gift sub, or I'll gift a sub to somebody in the chat, now would be a good time to do that. Just saying. Got a little time left. I'm going to retweet my own tweet to remind people that we're going, and then we will get into the model kit building. And just like that, Aristofan just gifted a sub to Paradis. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. We are now on a hype train. Thank you for the gifted sub, throwing the Bear Cave Lego site emote into chat, and also doing the old claps. Thank you very much for that gifted sub. Appreciate that, Aristofan. That is your 60-second gifted sub, which is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And if I be so bold, redonkulous. Anyway, we got a level 1 hype train going. So now's the time. If you were thinking about gifting a sub, 7 away, indeed, from the good number. But don't force yourself. / wait until the gifts you gave at the end of last month expire and my number drops below 50. I don't mean that. You don't feel like you have to ever again. If this was the last gifted sub you gave, that's 61, and that's ridiculous and incredible. And thank you very much, Aristofan. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to press a button. Yeah, overhead. I love it so much. Anyway, let's start on this. We're going to start with the body, which makes sense. And we'll start with this lovely pale blue color. Love this powder blue. Excellente. H16. We're going that. So, what did I do today? Honestly, a lot of today was data entry while watching Desert Bus for Hope. And that's the channel we're going to go raid tonight, because my boys are going to be there, and girls and theys are there. And I love supporting my friends. So I watched a lot of Desert Bus. Desert Bus for Hope charity fundraiser for Child's Play, where they play a terrible video game and then do other things, and they do lots of giveaways as they raise ridiculous amounts of money, and it's real cool, and I'm a big fan of it, and a big fan of the people involved in it, yeah, they're doing a thing, and it's very fun. And some people are in person together, and some people are doing remote, and that is cool. That both those things are happening. The mix of it, I think, is neat. Okay, so we do this. We're gonna need B12, and then we're gonna need some PC connector. So let's get B12 out here. Combining new parts with old parts seamlessly, which is pretty rad. I think that's fucking cool, right? Like, I don't think we talk about that enough. At least I don't when I talk about model kits. Like, a part right now, I'm going to clip out here, was designed for a kit in 2008. And then in 2018, this kit came out because part of the whole thing of the Build series, the various Builds animes, is like this kind of customization and making something new and creating something from some other kit. So the idea that they're just like, yeah, we're going to build parts and release them in 2018, and they work with a kit from 8 or 10 years previous. That rules. And that continues along there. Like, you can kit bash, like, obviously there are people who do all kinds of incredible kit bashing, making things possible that weren't, but there are also people who do, and my voice is cracking there, I apologize. There are also people out there who, they just, like, kit bash the same kind of kit from different eras and, like, put different parts from them, and, like, do, like, really bizarre Zakus, where it's just like, here's a Zaku 2 with parts from, like 15 years of model kits. And I just think that is neat. That is very cool that exists. That is, in my opinion, kind of like an unsung, really cool element of this thing that we do and like, which is model kit building. Voice is starting to recover from singing. Yes. John brings up a good point. I did do a karaoke stream on Wednesday, and my voice was a little shaky on Thursday, but has now pretty much recovered. It helps that I did not talk that much yesterday to try to save it. So I'm feeling pretty okay about that. Aren't those Battlelog kits more specifically designed for you to mix and match? Yes, Lashbrook. Lashbrook brings up an excellent point. These new Battlelog kits that are coming out, which we will be building 2 of at some point when USA Gundam Store mails them out. I'm not blaming USA Gundam Store. They need to have them before they can mail them out to us. I could have gone to Target and bought them, uh, but whatever. I pre-ordered them because I pre-order model kits, and it's nice to support a smaller business, a smallish business. Um, but anyway, yeah, those Battlelog kits. Theoretically, I can take my um, Live Lance Heaven and my what is the name of that one that I can't remember? The Gundam Barbatorus. I can combine those parts and like very easily. That is part of the thing for it is you could do that. Now, would I want to mix and match those two kits? I don't know. Uh, it would be kind of cool to see the Live Lance like wings on on the upper torso of a four-legged mobile suit. That might be cool. I might be into that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to take a look at those. Also, it is a Target thing that I have not purchased. I will be making this purchase. I am going to pick up the Demon Slayer entry grade. I will be picking that up because I like building entry grades. I'm gonna wait. Honestly, this is a weird thing. It's not weird, not that weird. I've been waiting to find out like what my folks need from Target because I want to do like a group order, and not just. I don't want to do a Target order for a model kit. If that, I think that makes sense. Why I would want to wait. The words. I think that's pretty clear. Um, so 1 and 2, we'll put those there. But yeah, yeah, batch up those orders. Yeah, pretty much. Now that being said, the two model kits that I pre-ordered from USA Gundam Store, I did do separately because I didn't want one to be delayed and then not get it. So when I do pre-orders of model kits, I will pay the extra, by not doing bulk or whatever. I will do separately because sometimes you gotta wait. Like even if they say they're coming out at the same time, a thing will get delayed and then you're just stuck waiting. Or you didn't realize that they had that much time apart when you pre-ordered it, and then you're just like, they're not going to send them out separately. I'm going to have to wait, and that can be really frustrating. Um, I was looking at that kit at Target. I'm interested in seeing what the sticker situation is like. Yeah, who knows, Aristofan? Some of those entry grades, like I would say, Detective Conan or Conan, not too bad as far as stickers go. But some of the other entry grades, not great with the stickers. All right, so we are almost done with the chest. We got I2 and A18 and I2 to put on here. I210, I should say. A16. We're getting some of our red. Not a lot of red on this kit. This is a mostly white or off-white and blue kit, but it does have a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red in it, which I like. Always like those colors. John says, I was doing that more with video games, separate orders for releases, but now I have such a backlog, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Like, the main thing is, if I'm pre-ordering a kit, it's probably because I'm fucking psyched about it. Otherwise, I would just wait for it to be available, and knowing that I pay a little more, get it on Amazon. Like, that often is, this is the wrong piece. I pulled the wrong piece out here. I pulled A16 out instead of A18. I don't even know if we'll use this. I'm putting it aside. First mistake of the night. Not a big one. Just means I have to keep an eye on that piece so we don't lose it. But yeah, generally, like I said, it is something that if I'm ordering it separately, it's because I'm hot for it and I want it as soon as possible. And I don't want to wait. That's often the case with me. Not always the case, but often the case. So I is here. I2 10 is this one, so we'll pull this out here. I should say a thing that is in the mail and I should be getting next week that will go into my backlog because I bought it. Let me turn my mic down one notch. Is the Efret? Do I have the Efret here? Yes, the Efret Kai. I mean, I'm looking forward to building this kit. This was a premium Bandai pre-order that got postponed and now is shipping. So I got shipping notification coming via FedEx. Looking forward to this kit, hoping the blades are actually that color because sometimes we get lied to. But I really like this color. I really like the leg missiles. I like the samurai vibes going there. So the color scheme I think is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that uh, coming in the mail. We got quite the backlog. And technically, not technically, actually, I got to build the high new next anyway. I got to build that high new because that won the $10 patrons poll about what I'm building next. So that's next on the agenda. This jumped that, but that is the next thing that I'm putting together. All right, so we're going to panel line this in a second because we're almost done with the chest. We will get the, I'm going to panel line this before I connect it because some of these crevices you can see when you turn, but getting a marker in there sometimes isn't the best. So we'll do that there. Again, some of this does feel very 2008 because that's when the kit came out. So it is of its time. But some of this it should feel a little modern and look pretty cool. We got a big chonker here of a kit, so I am excited to put that together. And honestly, mostly, I'm just happy to be bottle kitting and hanging out, and saying, thanks for being here and hanging out with all of you. I could be watching a AEW pay-per-view right now. I'm gonna watch it on the replay. I was following along before we got here. Figured here's the thing. Silly me. I thought in the time I had from when it started till now that there would be a few matches before it went, so I would follow along with a few matches and then come in. But the opening bout was 30 minutes, so forget that. Didn't really get to see too many matches, or sorry, didn't get to read about too many matches before it kicked off. But that is kind of cool. I was very surprised that they were going to give Darby and MJF so much time. So that I look forward to seeing that match. Heard good things. Heard things about the tag team match as well. The opening tag team title bout. But yeah, I was surprised about that. Anyway, it was brought up, I believe, by Lashbrook on Thursday. I have now, since the Thursday one, the second match was about just as long. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a long pay-per-view. Or some matches are not going to get... Some matches can't get time, so who knows. We haven't really had a short match yet. I mean, here's the thing. They got to have one. They got to. Maybe the 6-man will be short. That's, because also who the fuck cares about that match? If there was going to be a short match, I feel like it'll be that one because, I mean, yeah, people care, but do they? I don't know. Anyway, I'll watch that after. I am excited about it, but I got priorities. I got a model kit built. So since we last talked, I have read Eddie Kingston's essay on mental health and getting help, and it's one of those things where I understand why he's justifying getting help so much because of the environment he grew up in and the kind of man that not only he is, but somewhat more importantly, the man that he feels he needs to project. And a lot of it rings very true. The idea that the person that went out of their way to reach out to him took his own life, because that often is the case with people who reach out, is they can see the darkness in other people that they have in themselves. So that felt very real and very true, and very honest. And it's, I don't know. It is a very Eddie Kingston thing to wondering if trending on Twitter means he's going to get a better payout for a match. Looking at it as looking at his big break as not a big break, but this will pay for some stuff. Okay, this is good. I don't gotta move in with my mom. This is, it. I don't know. I suggest checking it out. I linked to it on my Twitter. You can find it there. Um, it is honest and earnest and great. Uh, so Flip Flop Slap Fight is asking about the pen I'm using right now. I'm doing panel lining. You should watch the promo he cut on Cody. I mean, I've watched all those promos there. Uh, yeah, they're so good, and that one is particularly great in the context of now reading that. But to answer the question brought by Flip Flop Slap Fight, also great username, I'm panel lining. So we can see here on this plastic, if I kind of move in, you can see it better. There's all these like little indents here, right? All these little plastic spots here you can see. And if you look at the photo, which I can kind of enlarge, you're gonna see this obviously, not obviously, you may not know. This is the render here. This isn't like a great stage photography. This is a render, but you can see all these little lines here, these black lines, these little indents here. These are colored in. And so I'm using a Gundam marker to just put some ink. And in this case, I'm using black ink along the blue, and I used gray ink along the white. Um, and I am just filling in a little color. And then I'll go in and I'll clean it up with an eraser. It gives it some more definition, and it gives it a little bit more of a feel that it's almost like coming off the page, a little comic booky, especially with using black marker. Um, it's just to give it a little more definition, let things pop a little bit more. So I'm just using this marker and filling in some stuff there, and then I will clean up. I'm doing the what I like to call the quick and dirty method, where I'm just kind of hitting my marker along there, and then I'll use the eraser to clean up anything that shouldn't be in there, because basically the only place you're going to see this color is any spot that is that where there's an indent. Um, Dressing it up a bit, yeah, and giving some character some depth, making it feel more three dimensional. It makes the photograph very well. Makes it photography very well. It makes it show up in photography better, and it photographs better. But yeah, it gives it a little more oomph to it. Um, there is a technique called scribbing where you would use an X-Acto blade to actually put your own indents in. So like, let's see if I got a big piece. Okay, yeah. So check out this big piece of plastic, right? This big piece of plastic has a few indents here and a few on there, but this huge section here is just blank. If I wanted to, I could use an X-Acto knife and put in like a box or put in something, like create my own lines and then fill that with some ink just to make it stand out a little bit more. There are people who are very good at that. I have never scribbed before, and it would have to be a kit I did not care about for me to go that far. But it becomes something I theoretically could try in the future. Um, is that like staring into the mirror asking the spirits questions? I mean, a little bit. Um, but yeah, also Flip says they read the Eddie Kingston thing too. Yeah, I mean, it's like the thing I like about Eddie Kingston as a wrestler is that his presentation is I'm Eddie I am Eddie Kingston and I wrestle. I consider this to be fight money. I am fighting for money. And that it feels real and he feels authentic on the mic. Um, and I very much appreciate it. I appreciate him and what he's doing. Um, always have. And then also that he's like a dude that is thankful for what he's got and looks out for people and cares about other wrestlers, clearly. And it is, there is something about like a thing that's scrying and a bad joke. I did not know that. Okay. That makes sense. A thing about Eddie Kingston in that piece that resonated with me was one of the reasons why it was like the idea of being on TV, continuing to be a wrestler, not just like moving off somewhere and doing another trade job, is the idea that his nephew could be like my dad, my uncle's a wrestler, my dad's brother, my uncle's a wrestler. Like having that as a thing that he could say. Uh, and like, yeah, that does resonate. That, like, hey, maybe I am not in a place right now where I can love myself as much as I would wish I could, but I am in a place where I can want the people around, good things for the people around me, and I want to do my best for those people. Um, and I think that fucking rules. And I think that's like a thing that we can, we can take to heart. Is like, it doesn't have to be that grand thing. It's the same thing, honestly. I'm not the first person to say this. I won't be the last person to say this, but like, spite can be a fucking powerful motivator. Uh, Giving the haters something to hate, like, can be really motivating and really strong. To just be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna keep going, proving them wrong. Like, that can be a powerful motivator. Like, even if you never see that person again, that teacher that told you you should focus on something else, the boss that said, like, hey, I need you to really care about this nonsense job that no one would care about, and you need to, like, figure out what your priorities are while you were chasing your dream on the side. Like, all that shit. Like, the people that supported you until they didn't. That kind of thing. That can be a powerful motivator. Just be like, no, I'm doing this. And when I'm succeed, you'll say something nice and how you always believed in me, and we'll both know that's bullshit. I don't know. That could be a strong, powerful factor. Sometimes it is that. Sometimes it is just like, I want to stick around and see what happens. Sometimes that's all it is, and that could be powerful in its own way. Um, uh, Having someone open up that way, he does in that profession, especially, is rare. Yeah, I think so. A thing that is nice is, right, we're hearing about this from the old wrestlers, and generally, when they say this stuff, they are not being kind about it, but we can take it as the kindness in it. Uh, is that, like, the profession of wrestling, both on the indies and in the profession, the pro wrestler scene, is at the point now where you have people who are a different sort of wrestler, that are more willing to talk about their own mental health, that are looking to uh, find something, that, like, are looking to take care of themselves, to take care of their families, uh, to work in a way that will benefit them in the long run. Um, uh, and that's awesome. And I think that is something that we should be psyched about. Um, but part of it is that generational thing of just being like, yeah, I mean, like, it is fucking tough and it is awesome to be like, hey, things aren't great with me right now, and not just, like, swallow it. That it is harder to do than many people give credit for. Look, just fucking staying silent, drowning the voices, and ignoring the problem can be very difficult, but it's not as hard as taking a step to fix your shit. That can be very difficult. Also, not the same at all, but also kind of difficult, is when you have eye stickers and they are two pieces and you have to line them up. That can also be difficult. It's a different kind of difficult. But yeah, I'm proud of Eddie Kingston. I don't think Eddie Kingston is winning tonight against CM Punk. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I don't think Eddie Kingston's going to be the person to give Punk his first loss. Now, no contest that leads to some sort of street fight. Maybe we get a no contest. I think a no contest is more likely than Eddie Kingston picking up the victory. Now, if you're telling me Eddie Kingston cheats to win tonight, I'll buy that. If you tell me Eddie Kingston cheats to win, is considered the heel in the scenario, but definitely fucking isn't, then I could buy that. Eddie given a cheap win there, I could see that happening. But who knows? Yeah, you think it might happen? Okay, Lashbrook, I appreciate that. Because, like, I think, like, even a couple days ago, everyone was just like, Punk's not going to lose on a pay-per-view yet. Punk's not going to lose yet. It won't be Eddie. And it's like, yeah, but what if it was fucking Eddie? Like I respect Eddie Kingston pulling off a victory, a hard fought, maybe a little cheap victory, way more than just like some up and comer getting the first victory over CM Punk that then they don't have immediate plans for, so it doesn't feel special or right. I get a lot better for it to just be like, yeah, I beat you, and Punk being like pissed off about it. I think that's way more of an interesting storyline than anything else. But I don't know. Uh, anyway, wrestling. It's happening out there. I'm glad it's happening. Um, other things that are happening. Ooh, tonight's London Broil. Holy fucking shit, folks. I posted a photo of the leftovers. And I haven't posted a food win in a little while. But holy shit. Turned out great. Hey, why don't I put these stickers in here? This faceplate, you can't even fucking see these stickers. I put eye stickers in here, and you can maybe see them. Probably not because of shadows, but I cared way too much about those stickers that are not noticeable due to this thing. Whatever. Okay. I got another sticker to put on here. It looked delicious. Well, I appreciate that. It tasted great. Big thing is breaking. This is a little bit of a leftovers kit. You're right. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of the build divers and build fighters and all that is like recycling an old kit, putting a fresh coat of paint on it. Anyway, here's the thing with London Broil. Get yourself a round. You want a round steak. If you want to get a flank, you could do flank if you want to do that. I wouldn't do skirt, but I do that. Made some London Broil wraps for the kids, and they ate them up like the Tasmanian devil. I love that. Um, so herb butter. I didn't do it. Some people swear by it. That's what you got to do if you're gonna build. If you're gonna do this, I appreciate that. I understand that. It's not my style. I didn't go with herb butter because if you're doing a good marinade and you're marinating it for a long time, you don't need anything. You don't even need salt if you got a proper because you got salt in the marinade. If you properly marinate it, you don't have to worry about it. Broiled, sliced, of course, the diagonal. A little burnt on the ends, which is good because we got a member of the family that doesn't really go for red. I don't love it bloody. I don't mind red. I don't mind pink, but I don't want it raw if it's a steak, especially like a London broil. You don't need that because you're breaking everything down with that anyway, and you're marinating it right. But yeah, I'm gonna have leftovers for lunch tomorrow. I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with them. I mean, probably. I got some everything bagels. Probably put on an everything bagel, little mayonnaise, provolone cheese. That's gonna be my lunch tomorrow, and it's gonna be great. Okay, so how does this go on here? Let's actually enlarge this photo again. Let's stretch this photo out. See where that yellow is. Okay, so that yellow is here, and it's up. So it's covering that, and the blue is going to go on top of it. Great. Unfortunately, the yellow that's right there in the head is a sticker, which I understand. You know, look, there are not a lot of stickers on this kit, and there certainly aren't as many stickers as the last kit we built on stream. So I'm feeling great about that because that was. I honestly feel like the Gushin Rebake Full City was mostly stickers. It felt like so much of that was color correcting stickers, and this is not that, so I can't be too mad about it. I gotta get new tweezers. My tweezers are fine, but they're just not doing it right anymore. I gotta get some new tweezers. Just gonna use the X-Acto knife here and fold it around. It's okay. Is this perfect? No. Is it really noticeable? I mean, it kind of is, but not super noticeable. There's a lot going on with this kit. I can feel okay about this sticker not being great. So it does have to bend and contort. And then we need K2. That one there, little tiny red piece there. Get that on. put this all together, panel line it. Oh, got to do the H1. Okay. Put the back of this. Flip-Flop says, I did my first Lego build on stream the other night as part of Extra Lifetime. Went really well, and the camera boom you recommended works like a charm. Oh, this camera boom that I have is one of the best investments I ever made. It was really fun during the current times when a lot of people suddenly went home. There were some folks who were friends of mine who were playing Magic the Gathering against each other, and so they were looking for solutions, and they were like, "Hey, I need it." Like I like so people had like a desk with a tripod on it, so it was nice to like send the link out to be like, "Hey, this is what I'm using." Uh, like if this is something that would benefit y'all, because people were like, I have like a desk, like I've got it like sitting on like a. It's like or somebody was like, I got my webcam clamped on a lamp, and it's casting a shadow, and it's just like, oh, that's not good. You don't want it that. But yeah. Oh, you got yours so you could play Hero Quest with friends. That's great too. Yeah, I mean, it's just having an overhead camera, right? Like, if you're only using a webcam, if you are using a heavy duty camera, I don't know if that would be great for anything that weighs more than a webcam. It's designed for a webcam. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for that, other than maybe like if you have a attachment to put a phone, like not some phones are heavy, but most phones aren't going to be that heavy. Like that might work. Uh, but yeah, if people are going to use a heavier camera, then you got to get a different rig. You got to get a different sort of setup. It's so funny when I think of like the camera setups and riggings that people built to do like uh, different games online, and it was just like you just need like a clamp. Like this webcam that I'm pointing at right now is on this like little clamping device that I have just stuck to the metal, like the pole at the center of my monitor stand. It's just like I don't need anything fancy. Just put it there. I've got a little tiny bendy tripod. Uh, I don't know. Bending that thing into place makes me feel like Hercules bending steel. That you're not wrong. It is cool to bend that. It is fun. Okay, I need H1. We're almost done with the head. We got to panel line it, but we'll get to that. But yeah, no. Lego on stream is fun because you can mess up and you can fix it. The biggest advantage Lego has over model kit building on stream is uh, brick separator can fix all kinds of mistakes. Um, whereas I got liquid cement for when I really fuck up. I had to use that on Thursday. One of those extra arms didn't want to come together quite right. But if you totally put the thing together wrong, it can be tough to fix it. I have tools to help with that, but it's certainly more nerve wracking. When I build that, the real grade, the high new real grade, that's going to be a chore because that kit, real grades are a lot of small, intricate pieces to build. So my nerves will be high on that, but we'll still get it done, and it'll still look great. I built the Infinity Gauntlet and installed aftermarket LED lights. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, get a little customized again. That's neat. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's a different kind of thing, right? Uh, when people ask me about doing this kind of stream, because they don't watch a lot of people that do these sorts of build streams, the advice I give generally is just like uh, start with something that you're comfortable building. Don't immediately start with something that you're like, oh no, I'm in over my head. What am I doing right now? That is a bad time uh, to get into that. So yeah, you want to start with something that you're like at least like comfortable doing. And the other thing is, when you are just starting out with model kit building, it helps a lot, in my opinion anyway, to have a list of topics, things you want to chat about, because um, you could talk about the kit, but you can only say so much about the kit, and then you have other time to fill while you're doing things. Um, because video games, it's like the thing is, unless you're playing like a very mm, okay. When it comes to video games, Power Washing Simulator is a game where I need to have other things to talk about because I run out of things to talk about in Power Wash Simulator because you're just kind of going through the motions doing the thing. The thing is very fun that you're doing, but you're kind of going through those motions. Um, and so it's just like it's nice to have something else to talk about while I'm doing it. But if I'm playing Hearthstone or Jackbox or um, Pokemon, when I'm doing a Pokemon randomizer, I'm gonna just talk about what I'm doing in the moment. Especially when I was playing Hearthstone and I was doing the strategy layer of like talking about like the moves and trying to think about what my opponent was doing and all that. Like trying to guess what kind of deck they were playing, all that stuff. You can just talk about that. When you're building a model kit, you kind of need other things to talk about. Like tonight, I knew, okay, I'll talk a little bit about Desert Bus, and we'll go raid that later. I'll talk a little bit about wrestling. I know I'm going to do that. I know that I'm going to talk about two manga that I've been reading and checked out, almost kind of specifically for the stream. And then I know that I'll talk about the one show I watched today from anime that I want to talk about, the anime show that I checked out. So I kind of like know those are things. And also, things will come up and we'll chat about that, right? Like, I didn't necessarily think that I would talk about what I was doing with panel lining, but brought up, so can talk about that. Great. Um, Sometimes chat has things they want to chat about and ask questions and have me, kind of go on tangents, and that's awesome. Sometimes chat is very fucking chill, and I know you're there, and it's awesome that you're there, but you're like doing other stuff. You got me on the TV or your phone while you're still working. Maybe you're also watching an AEW pay-per-view while you're hanging out here, which I appreciate very much. But like, yeah, uh, sometimes it is very good to just be like, I have a playbook of things. Um, if you're, as Flip was saying, Flip Hop was saying, having a charity event stream is that's great because you can just talk about the charity and talk about what they do and talk about personal things and how it relates to that. Like that's very easy for that. But if it's just like, I don't know, it's a Saturday night and I'm streaming and I didn't do a lot today. That was nice. When I had more of a life and I did things, like 2019 streamer, early 2019 to late 2019 to early 2020, like 2018, like around that time, I was like, have weird things would happen on the subway, or like I would like tech a cool comedy show and like do bits with people and want to talk about that, or just like I don't know. I felt like I had things going on and like, hey, data entry's fun when occasionally you get a project to work on and enter data and it's something you know about and you're like, oh, I'm actually interested in reading this that I'm proofreading. And other times you're like, I don't know what these are medical terms that I don't know. I hope I'm doing this right. Like, boy, doing customer service sure sucked today. Like it just kind of run out of things to say sometimes. Uh, Moving on to the right arm of the kit. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like where I'm at right now. Like trying to figure out a day where I can go to McDonald's to eat a McRib. When I do eat that McRib, because I have not had one since last year when they brought the McRib back, I am going to eat the McRib some point soon, and I will talk about it on stream. But you know, I don't want to tell you like, oh, I'm planning to get the McRib. I'll tell you when I get the McRib, and it will be something that will be exciting stream. Uh, John, here's the thing about the McRib. It's not good, but I have nostalgia for it. Because like it's like processed pork made into a shape. The barbecue sauce is very sweet. It's got sliced pickles and onions, and the bread is fine. But I ate a lot of McRibs when it was readily available. And also, when the dollar menu debuted, which I remember very well, there was the McRib Jr., which was pretty much the McRib, only it was on a regular hamburger patty, and it was $1 from the dollar menu, because that's how everything on that menu was $1. So I have good memories of that. Meat, chunked and formed. Yes, indeed. Uh, yeah, it's basically just a nostalgia food. It like reminds me of, yeah, of just like really enjoying that kind of thing. I had one last year when it came back, and I was like, "Yep, this is the McRib. I'm eating a McRib, all right." Uh, it's fine. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I do want one. Uh, okay. Oh, Flip Flop Slapfly says, here's something you probably didn't think you'd be asked. Do you ever have nightmares about the hot dog incident during League of Heels show? So, a thing that I will say to you is any show that I am a producer on and a performer on, I wear two hats during that show, right? So every League of Heels show, except for the very first one, the very first League of Heels show which I was also in, I was just there as Pat Bear. The second show, I was referee Pat Bear. Um, every show from the second one on, I take incredibly seriously because I was a producer or an assistant or something, or an organizer, whatever. Two hats and a pair of sunglasses, right? So I have a role in the show as a performer and also as a producer. So the performer in me does not give a shit about these hot dogs. In fact, these hot dogs being thrown and the fact that I get to let Dan play his character and be so angry with him is very funny and is a huge moment that plays well, that gets gift, that gets shared, whatever. People talk about it. It's another nonsense Dan thing. Incredible. The production side of me, the producer, Pat, that Pat hat, oh, it's terrible, is like, oh, these are fucking raw hot dogs. There's hot dog juice. We got to clean up raw hot dogs now. I got to look an enforcer in the eye and say, just so you know, I didn't know anything about these hot dogs, and I'm so sorry. Uh, I gotta be, I gotta make sure that somebody who is overworked as a volunteer or paid very little that loves PAX is not like about to write an email about how we are like awful people. And that includes breakaway glass, which is not glass, but whatever. It's plastic generally. It's not candy. We don't do candy glass. We get the plastic glass. That shatters. Got to clean up all of that. We got to get rid of signs. We got various shenanigans that happen. Powder. Maybe someone's using something like dust, like fake dust they're blowing into, or cocaine. Fake cocaine. Fake cocaine. Obviously. It's all that like production stuff, even just like all the bodies. Like there were panels that we have done where when we did a rumble, you have 30 people, give or take two or three, because some people had like bodyguards or assistants or their mouthpiece, their manager. So you got that. You got 30 plus people in that. Then you've got like a main event, commentators, referee, our own tech people. So we're talking 40 people, at least 40 people. And then we've got our like people who are cool with us, like people who are going to film a thing. They came in early because Submit, like literally, my boy Submit is a VIP because he was entered into two rumbles that he was not scheduled to be in. He came in case someone didn't show up. Submit fucking rules. He would have been in our very last one that we had done, but he was unavailable because he was saving up to get married. So I could not book him. But if I had booked him, the bit that we would have done would have been that there would have been an empty spot and I needed to fill it, and I would have asked him if it was okay to book him, because he was such a fucking trooper for agreeing to be in all our nonsense all the time. Um, Someone has to crawl on the floor and pick up cold, raw, half hair covered hot dogs. Yeah, someone has to clean up after mess. Who caught the most shit for the fog machine? No problem. These are fine questions. So the real honest to God truth about the fog machine, which I am not the first person to say this. I am not breaking kayfabe by talking about this. I mean, nobody took any fucking heat at all. It's incredible. Nobody took any heat. We were not the first time that the fire department had to go there that day. Every fucking PAX, one of those smoke alarms goes off, and they have to clear. Literally every fucking PAX. Most conventions events that happen in there, something happens. Those things are on a hair trigger. So we are not the first people for that to happen. Now, was it a fog machine, which can be scary? Certainly. We interpreted at the time those firemen coming in and being firefighters coming in and being pissed off because we were wasting their time. And in fact, we were wasting their time. And they were unhappy. But they were also unhappy because this is the hotel they keep having to come back to all the fucking time. So it wasn't just us. So we took like disruption heat. We took like what's going on here heat. But a high-ranking member of the Penny Arcade staff was there and was laughing and had a relationship with other people in our crew that I've never we never chatted, but other people had chatted. At the time he was very high ranking and was laughing about it and was like, we can't give you more time, but can you end on time? Like that was his big thing. Can you end on time? And we're like, as soon as we get back in, we'll move on and we'll get there. But yeah, the beautiful thing was it was just the legend of it, of don't turn on the fog machine, is incredible. Now, in the moment, am I hating myself because I caused this? Oh, you bet your ass I was. I was like, this is a quote that people in staff will remember. This is me going up to people who work in the games industry, who are running this thing, going up to Aaron, going up to Pope, and saying, hey, if someone needs to take the fall for this, I don't make video games. I'll take the fall for this. That was because from my point of view, I'm a comedian who gets to do cool shit at a video game convention. Aaron and Eric at the time were community managers for a company based in Boston that were integral to the PAX experience. So they couldn't get in trouble. So I was also the one running the fog machine, so it did make sense. So my sacrifice also is justified, because if people were going to get mad at someone, you might get mad at the guy who was pressing the button and watching the fog get sucked up into the back hallway, but thinking it looked fucking pretty cool that it wasn't fading out in the house, that was going into a hallway, and thought that did look pretty awesome. But yeah, Fall Guy should be added to, yes, yeah. Hey, I'm willing to be the bad guy and the fall guy if necessary. I mean, it's hard to get in trouble at a convention like that when there are a lot of people running and watching it go down. So yeah, I mean, look, the real thing is, there were a couple real life injuries that took place during our performances. One, which was a complete and total fluke, completely weird, could have happened at any time. One that was someone being unsafe. Either of those events could have been the last thing for us. Which is why I stressed safety as much as I could when doing these things. And this isn't talking about bruising. This is talking about like, oh, people who got hurt doing nonsense on our watch. Because I never wanted us to be a liability. We could be one of the weird corners of PAX, and in fact we were. And in fact, I take that as a victory that we are one of the weirdest things you could do at a very weird convention. that was important to me in a sense of pride. But I never wanted to put people at risk for their own safety or their jobs, certainly. Like, it's that thing where you're like, maybe a guy who works for Disney, like, at the time, should we take the photo of him dressed like a pimp off of our website? Maybe we should. At the time, he worked for Disney. He doesn't work for Disney now. But at the time, a gentleman who was, at one time wore a pimp costume was there, and I was like, do we need to take this down? You know, like that kind of thing. Uh, we're mostly inclined to take down photos and references to people who turned out to be awful garbage people, and not pretend like they were never part of us, but definitely be like, hey, you know, that bit was really good that you did, but like, you suck as a person, so we're never going to mention the legitimately funny character you brought to the events, but you suck ass. So I'll never give you credit for that good bit you did, you garbage man, predator, uh, stuff like that. Yes, Drake and Greg are the only people to get injured during a show. Um, uh, there was Alexa got real life injured the night before, and we played it up. Basically, her she a thing happened at an event outside of PAX, and she was injured, and then we worked it into the story uh, with her permission, of fucking course. But yes, the John hurting his leg and from jumping and then landing weird, jumping up and down, celebrating the fact that his vampire butler won a wrestling video game match, and then um, Dan not understanding how to do a wrestling maneuver and doing a wrestling maneuver to Greg. Real bad. Not great, real bad. The thing about an elbow drop is you don't actually make any contact with anyone. You take the full brunt of an elbow drop. Your elbow doesn't even make contact with somebody. Now, if you do an elbow drop where you actually try to drive your elbow into someone's back, and also it's their back, so they didn't know you were fucking doing it, that's how you hurt someone. He knows now. He knows now. That's why I always said, if people want to do something, come to me, tell me what you're doing. I will tell you about either how to do it safely or an alternative that would be safe. Nonsense. The best thing that ever happened to us is the fact that there were never ever folding chairs at any convention we ever went to, because the thing about a folding chair is there's no good way to do it. There are ways to minimize it, but you are still hitting a person with a chair. You can't fake a chair shot. You can't rig a chair. It hurts. You could just minimize where it hurts the other person. Also, it never hurts you. The only time a chair shot will hurt you is if you actually hit a chair against metal and like the vibrations hurt your arms because you swung so hard. But if you swing into a person's body, it doesn't hurt you. So Lastbrook, Greg's injury, no. Sometimes things were planned. Wrestling bits were planned, especially if it involved actual legitimate wrestlers. Those bits were planned. But like, obviously, Alex knew that he was going to get hit with a kendo stick, right? And so you can plan that and prepare for that. Greg getting attacked by Dan was not part of anything. That was not part of for any sort of belief. Like, that is not a thing that he came into going, oh, I'm gonna get an elbow drop. Super kick, yeah. I sold really well Dan's very poorly done super kick to my face. That was actually to my chest because he just missed, and I sold it very well because I'm a professional, and I didn't call him out on it until years later when it was fine for me to be like, that super kick was super lame, because it was. Did a very bad job hitting me with that kick. Uh, his super kick against other people were very good. But super kick against me, watched it. Had a couple friends at school that were fucking around wrestling. One put the other one in a Boston Crab and slipped and sat down. He ended up okay, but was in the hospital for a while. Yeah. Um, Submission holds. Almost every submission hold actually hurts. The figure four doesn't actually hurt that much. The actual part of the figure four that hurts is if you tweak the ankle, because then you're tweaking someone's ankle. But most holds actually do hurt in some capacity, in some way, because they're from the world of legitimately trying to get someone to go unconscious, that have then modified for fun. Anyway, I gotta take a pause for the cause. We'll get back to building and talking about some manga and some anime. But we gotta talk about ways you can support the channel. It's important to do that. Excuse me, for me, it's important for me to say various ways you can support the channel. Go back to the intro screen. Hell yeah. So first and foremost, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, consider becoming one. You could use your Prime gaming token if you Amazon Prime, link that. You could also, if you wanted to, use Cash Money. You could become a subscriber that way. It's an easy way to support what I do here. If you're tier 2, like Aristofan is, you get the Scythe emote, which is nice to have. We had a gifted sub tonight, which is always fun, thanks to Aristofan. That was very nice. Gifted subs. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and they won't charge you till your gift sub is over, which is pretty neat. Also, you could just, decide that you wanted to give somebody else in the community a sub. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Aristofan is the top of the gift sub leaderboard. Harold and the Ja are in the top of the bit leaderboard, which is just a nice little thing. Throw that up there. So like, hey, thanks so much. Another way to support what I do is to join my Patreon. So that is like an alternative to doing through Twitch. If you're new to this channel, folks, I'm gonna get through this real quick. We'll get back to building, but I gotta do my ad reads. Anyway, patreon.com/PatBear. Ooh, is Nightbot not working right now? Maybe Nightbot is delayed? What's going on with Nightbot? Flip Flop Slap Fight just subscribed to tier 1. Thank you so much. Gonna throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote in the chat. Throw those emotes in. Thank you, and hitting the old applause. Getting so much use out of my stream deck. Yeah, apparently my Nightbot commands are not going through. I don't know why. I'm gonna refresh Nightbot here. I'm logged into Nightbot. I'm gonna have to look at that. I don't know why that's not working, but anyway, I will just copy and paste what I want to say in there. So anyway, this is annoying because I got to do a lot of copying and pasting that I shouldn't have to do. Anyway, I got a Patreon. You can join my Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. $1 tier, $3 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier. Those are the various tiers that you can subscribe to there that support me. Appreciate that very much. Now, also, I have a YouTube. You can subscribe at youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribing is obviously free, but joining, there's membership. And you could join there if you want to do that. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. We'll get back to building. I just got to go through these here ad reads. It's important for me to remind people. Yeah, my YouTube, I got memberships, $2 a month. You get the videos that I put out on Wednesday. You get those on Tuesday as a little thank you. Donations. Just donations. There's some various ways you could support the channel via donations if that's something you're considering doing. One time, right? A one-time donation. Because maybe like a monthly subscription isn't going to be something you're interested in. But a one-time might be kind of cool. And everything I make through donations, through Patreon, through YouTube, through Twitch, goes to buying model kits and equipment. I got this stream deck because I really wanted to have one for a while, and the money was good. I had some good support lately, and I have a good backlog of kits. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that. That is the thing that will help me on my streams, and it has. It's been great to have. I also have an Amazon wish list. This kit was bought anonymously on Amazon. I do not know who bought this kit, but somebody did. And because they bought it from my Amazon wish list, I'm building it now. It jumped the queue. I've got other things to build, but I was like, nope, this comes next. I've got Lego sets on there. I've got some of which are on sale right now, which is cool. I've got high grades. I've got master grades. I've got inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Kits that are like, hey, why is this high grade $60? You shouldn't pay $60 for that. It's on the list. Maybe it'll drop in price someday. And some tools at the bottom because sometimes it is nice to buy those tools. And they're necessary. Like these like jewelry grade tweezers will be pretty fucking cool to have. I don't need them, but eventually my tweezers are gonna need to get replaced. So it's like, I'll put that in there. Maybe somebody wants to pick those up. Alternatively, you could buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store. If you buy something for USA, I can't have a wish list on USA Gundam Store, but you can go buy a gift card and then you can DM me on Twitter with the code, and then I'll use that gift card at USA Gundam Store. That is an alternative to Amazon, which is important to have alternatives. I am looking into apparently you can do wish lists on Target and it works like that. Like you don't have to have like a P.O. box that you tell people, because that's the real reason why I don't just have like a P.O. box, is because I don't have one because a lot of reasons, but the main reason is just like it's an expense that I'd rather just have an Amazon wish list instead of like the expense of having that P.O. box. Various reasons. Someday I'll have one, but don't have one right now. I have a Discord though. You can join my Discord. That's a free way to support what I do. My Discord community is very chill, very nice. You can jump in there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's pretty cool. Pat Bear's Anime Club. That is a video series that I do every other Monday. The most recent one is me talking about like some of my favorite chill anime. These are slice of life, chill anime, relaxing, like feel good, like very little drama, mostly just chill and cool and good. Great shows. Also, Best of Build With Baer is my Wednesday series. Every Wednesday I put a new episode out. And it's me just talking about stuff that I'm really into, like clips from these streams, like fun moments. This one is from the most recent what do you call it? Most recent Pokemon Fire Red randomizer run, where I was just like looking at the Gloom like sprite and just being like, what the fuck's going on with Gloom? Just me talking about that. A fun little clip. Also, you can always clip things. If you know, you get that clip that button. If you ever see something on stream you think is fun, you can clip it. That would help me, so I don't have to dig through. All right, we're gonna go back to building in just a moment. I'm gonna try to see if I can get, if there was just like a weird delay, or if my Nightbot is being weird. Let's see. Yeah, I am not able to do Nightbot commands. Is Nightbot in? Okay, yeah, Nightbot is not showing up as a moderator, which is weird. So that's frustrating. So anyway, don't know why that is. That maybe it's just being used a lot and it's being weird. Anyway, I'll talk about this anime and then I will talk about some manga, but we'll talk about Faraway Paladin first. But yeah, I don't know why my Nightbot is being weird, but it is. All right, so let me just copy this manga I'm going to talk about here. Okay, back to building and talking about some there. Yeah, the manga isn't working either, John. I don't know. It should, but it's not. I don't know why it's not working, but it is not working. Bad. Yeah, Nightbot's just being weird. Whatever. Hopefully it'll work again soon, because it is helpful to have those commands preset. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you about the Faraway Paladin. We are in episode 6 of the Faraway Paladin. If you have not been watching this show, it is fucking cool as hell. if you're streaming and something ain't broke, you ain't streaming. Yeah, yeah, that is a good that is a good philosophy, a good phrase. Let's see. Okay, so if you haven't been watching Faraway Paladin, it's my favorite show this season. Um, it is an action adventure series about a young man named Will. He is going out on a journey. His journey is to discover his place in the world, find his purpose. So, kind of vague. Also, the goddess that he believes in and worships, because there are a bunch of gods out there, she is not as like recognized. She's kind of gone out of favor with people, or falling out. So part of his duty is to spread the word of his goddess and like let the people know that Gracefield is where it's at. Because she's kind of a forgotten god. A lot of gods are forgotten because the world, this is on Crunchyroll. Yep. It's airing this season right now, so we're 6 episodes in. A thing that happened was there was a climactic event where a guy, basically a dude, got super powerful. The demon lord destroyed a lot of the world. And there's still demons all out there, and he's not defeated. He's sealed. He was defeated. He wasn't killed. He was sealed. And the people that sealed him were turned undead, and they raised Will. So Will has all these cool powers. He's not overpowered, but he is incredibly strong. And also, I guess he is technically overpowered because he's definitely like mortal, but he's got a very strong blessing, and he knows magic, and he was raised by one of the strongest fighters that ever lived. So he is also really strong. And he, unfortunately, has to make use of that. So we spent 5 episodes explaining the world, explaining these characters, watching Will grow up, kind of just like seeing, like discovering things about the world, like feeling his feelings, fighting a climactic fight against one of the 12 gods, the god of the undead, and defeating that god, basically. Like doing a real good job. And now he's off doing his thing. He meets a half elf archer, and they like, that archer was hunting a boar. Will ended up killing it. They kind of negotiate. They eat together. It's kind of nice. And then Will's like, I mean, to Will, this is like the first person he's talked to that wasn't a god or like an undead that still had command of their soul. Like, this is literally the first person that Will has talked to since he reincarnated. So he's just like, hey, what's your name? Hey, what, like, where are you? Like, where? Like, tell me where I am. Like, he's like, and we get this dude, this elf, Melindor. Melindor is like, just kind of like, hey, mind your business. I don't really want to talk to you. We'll never see each other again. And you're like, okay, shit, dude. You don't gotta be a dick about it. Uh, and I get the vibe. I'm like, I feel like this is not going to turn out. This is the first character we have met. I feel like this is not going to turn out great. Anyway, Will goes to sleep and has a divine revelation. Doesn't quite understand what it is, but he's like, there's a village, there's a problem, and this elf I just met is going to be there. And he's like, oh, okay, that must be the village that he lives in. Shit. I gotta go help him. So Will gets there and sees that there's some raiders sneaking in, and there's somebody like almost killed some of the villagers. So Will intervenes, and then he's like, oh, I interpreted that wrong. That this attack is people from the village that Melandor lives. The elf lives. Shit. So Will takes them all out, but doesn't kill them, but stops them, and nobody's, everything's pretty okay. Uh, they're from a nearby village that was attacked and taken over by demons, so they were coming to take over this village so they could survive. And there are demons in the other village, and Will is basically like, okay, so he's like, all right, well, I could fight all of them so these people don't die, because, or I could leave, or what if I take advice from my grandpa, the Spectre, who loved money? And he's like, hey, how about you get compensated for their lives? They got to pay. They're like, what? They don't have anything. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. How about I go and kill all the demons? Wipe out those demons in the other village. You guys can combine villages or go your separate ways, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to hire this elf to come help me because he knows the way to the village and because he's a good hunter. And they're like, this doesn't really seem like it's anything you need to worry about. Like we'll say yes, but this feels like a weird deal for you. And he's like, yeah, I get that. But you got to understand, I'm working for Gracefield and she wants me to help people. So I got to go help people. He's like, look, demons killed my parents, which is mostly true. He's like, look, demons killed my parents. I'm going to kill demons no matter what. I might as well kill these demons for you. He doesn't talk like that, but that's basically what he says. He says it way more like he has a woman as a voice actor, which he does. He says it much more like from a play in that style of voice. A shonen-ish protagonist voiced by a female identifying voice actor. Anyway, he hires the elf to come help him. And I'll say this. We have now hit my only part of this show that I have ever disliked. We have now hit a little bit of. We are now actually entering, again, a show that I really enjoyed. I love the pacing of it. I love the style of it. I love that it took this long to introduce a character that wasn't introduced in the first episode. I think that's awesome. There's so much about this I really enjoy. The part I don't really love is the part where he's really spreading the gospel about Gracefield. Now, look, do we have evidence from this show that Gracefield is like a nice god that wants to help people and wants Will to help people? Yeah, we got that. Gracefield is the person, or the goddess that put Will in a reincarnated body to give him a second chance. Like, great, cool. I'm hoping the episodes that maybe there's a couple episodes where it doesn't have a long speech from Will about how awesome his god is. Like, that would be pretty cool if we could not really I don't want the end of this arc or whatever to be like all of the villagers being like, who seems pretty great? Gracefield, the goddess. Yeah, we're into it. Yeah, we're built a shrine for her. Cool. Like, what exactly should we say about her? Like, I'm just like, about that. But other than that, little bit of misgiving. Show fucking kicks ass, and I'm really into it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful productions. So that is the Faraway Paladin. It gets it is ranked as my favorite show this season. I have not watched every show that's out this season. And there are some shows that people really like that I don't. But that is currently my favorite. And now I will talk about some manga while we go in here and hang out here. Well, I got two... Lord Crashing just subscribed to tier 1 saying, hey, Pat, keep up the great work. Have a good weekend. Lord Crashing, the same to you. That's 28 months. Thank you so much for subscribing for 28 months. That's a long-ass time. Over 2 years. Thank you so much for that. Throw in the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote to say thank you to Lord Crashington at tier 1. That rules. So throw those emotes in there, folks. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Continuing on this build and to talk about some manga time. I gotta put a sticker on this and then another piece of plastic on there. 2.3333 years, indeed. Okay, so I got 2 books that I checked out. One of which I read all that's been that is available, and I would like to read more. The other which I don't know if I'm going to keep reading because I don't know. The first one is I don't know how to say this, so pronounce it. I'm going to call it In the Land of Leadale, but it could be Leadale. Leadale. I'm going to call it Leadale. Leadale. I'm going to say The Land of Leadale. This was, I believe, and still is an ongoing light novel that has some chapters of the manga. There is an anime adaptation, I believe, was announced. I think it is sometime next year that we're going to get that anime adaptation. I don't know exactly when that's coming, but it seems pretty interesting. And yeah, I would like to read more of it. Okay, so what's up with this? This is a girl dies and is reincarnated as her avatar in a world that is like the VR MMO that she used to play. Basically, this young lady got horribly injured in a car crash and was bedridden for many years. And then while she was there, she was playing this VR MMO so she could kind of like experience stuff and had something to do while she was in bedridden. And her grandfather, who you get the sense was, you know, definitely wealthy, he created an AI to help her with like adjusting her chair or like getting her water or whatever. And then also the AI worked in the game, which I don't understand, but that AI is called Key. Um, anyway, she played this game. She really liked it. She died, and she is now reincarnated as the elf character, this great witch, in the world of Leadale, 200 years after she last played. So it's to them, to the character she's running into, it's been 200 years. Like, there aren't any other players. She adopted some NPCs. They're grown and exist. They're all still alive because they were elves. Yeah, it's a little crosscode. It's yes, it's a little bit. It's similar in many ways to several. Like I woke up and now I'm in this video game, uh, but it's real life. Like Kuma Bear. And this one, she did die, so it is a little different. But there are also other reincarnation isekais where they're suddenly in there. Some of them are transported, and this one we know that she knows. Oh, I passed away. Like literally, there is a line from Key saying, "Hey, there was like a power thing," and then you know the heartbeat was like something to the fact of basically him saying, "Yeah, you're dead. You definitely died." Um, it's blood. Even though I'm saying she died, she's been reborn. She can now move around and she can live her life and she's very strong. She's OP. She like kicks a monster. She didn't even use magic to take down a monster. Um, it's pretty chill. Yeah. It's honestly pretty relaxed in its in what's going on with her. Uh, like she's like there are moments where she's like, what do I do? What am I doing here? But for the most part, it's like, okay, well, this is my situation, and I guess I'm gonna go. She's like, her number one thing is like, go find these places that she used to live in the game, see how they've changed. Um, there, like, she gets asked to go and put some magic into some objects to help them, and then she's like, oh yeah, I guess I should try to find like my sons and my daughter. I guess they're two of them are elves and one of them is a dwarf because they're all adopted. She's like, I guess I should go find them. and see where they're at and like learn about this world. Uh, so it's I would love to read more of it. When there is the anime adaptation comes out, I'm gonna check it out. I like what I have read of it. I'm interested in reading more. Um, so that is in the Land of Leadale or Leadale, and it's pretty all right. I would say that that was a fun read that I would like to read more of. The other one I'm not too sure about because I was like, I don't know if I like this. It's all right. Um, is the summon kitchen skill is amazing. Amassing points by cooking in another world. So this one has a similar-ish setup to the Saint's magic power is omnipotent, where two girls get summoned in a hero summoning, and one of them they're like, "You're the saint," and the other one they're like, "Why are you here? Get out of here!" Or in most cases, stay in the corner. This is weird. In this one, it is more. It is like more apparent that this was a mistake in Summon Kitchen because her skills are kitchen related. And I think, in my opinion, they are somewhat justified for being like, that doesn't sound useful for the shit we need you for. Forget this, we're going with the other. Like, what? This doesn't seem right, you know? It seems like this is a mistake. Go over here. You're going to live in this place. We'll have you, like, do whatever. Well, it turns out the summon kitchen skill is pretty great if you want to make excellent food. And to the point where she can level it up and she can purchase items that exist in like food items to make even better food. And there's a knight that is like that. First, she's like, "Hey, why is this knight like around all the time? What's up with this? What's going on with this knight? Why is this knight like always in my business?" Because she doesn't like she can't like takes her a long time to consider the fact that this dude is super into you. Like he's clearly super into you, and it's not just because you make great food that he's never had and is incredible. He's also like into it and seemingly like interested in you as a person and what you're up to and about. So it is mostly a love story. I would say it's even more of a love story than the show that I compared it to, which is Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, which is I gotta get this piece. Which is a romance show that also has a lot of action in it. This one does not have the action really. It does, but not really. I should also say that I said that I don't know if I'm going to finish it. There's only so much I can finish because the manga is done. The light novel continues. So I haven't read everything that's available of the manga, but there is going to be a point where I can't read any more of it because they, I guess it was decided at some point to cancel production. So I can still go and track down the light novels and read those if I wanted to continue reading it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading what's available. Apparently, the manga does end like on like a this could be the ending of it. It does have like a satisfactory like chapter end. It's not like canceled in the middle of like a story. So which is great. That's awesome to hear. So I'm like, well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I'm gonna drink a little water. I haven't drank enough water tonight. Excellent. I talked to a friend the other day about an anime he was watching, Restaurant to Another World. Yes, now I'm hearing about a different kitchen-based anime manga. Shit's wild. Restaurant to Another World is in its second season right now on Crunchyroll. It is a show that I don't talk about on stream, but I am watching because it's one of those shows. It's a great comfort show, but it would be a weird thing for me to be like, okay, and then the chef that makes all the great food. Hey, welcome words maybe. The chef that makes all the great food made some food that these new characters came in and really liked, and they were very thankful. So it's like, but Restaurant to Another World is an awesome uh, anime. I've not read the manga, but the anime is cozy and great. So, Njan, the idea is that it is the restaurant itself is the isekai. Every Saturday or once a month, I think it's Saturday, the shop closes to people in Japan, and this restaurant, this Japanese style restaurant, a door to the restaurant opens in various locations in a fantasy world, and people can come through the door and be customers, and they get pasta and oh, this person like cutlets and this person loves soup and all this. There's a dragon that only comes for this very spicy soup that they really like, and some of the characters interact with each other in their fantasy world. There's like a gladiator, and the reason why he keeps winning is so that he can eat delicious meals. That's what's keeping him going. There's we see a lot of it through the eyes of a young lady who is a demon or a half demon that ends up being an employee there. He's telling me about it, and I was like, man, that sounds hella manga. Yeah, it's just like this lovely little story about a guy who like inherits this restaurant, and then there's like a girl who like discovers like through writings like what her grandfather used to go to this place, and so she gets the meal that he got, and then a couple people like talk to her about him and their memories of him, and a lot of people don't know each other's names, so they refer to each other as the dish they always order, and they're like, there's one episode about a dwarf that brings another dwarf in, and he's just like, you gotta drink, like he's like, why did you build a cabin out here? He's like, I'll show you why I built a cabin. He built a cabin to to hide the door, so he can like stay there when he knows the door is going to be there, and then go through the door, get this great meal, drink cold beer, and the other door's like, this is really good, and it's just like, oh, it is like a really nice show. It is very much like that. Yes, it is a lot like that. That other isekai about cooking in another world. Yeah. Um, yes, I mean I keep eating, working so I can eat delicious meals. Yeah, it's. I mean that's what it is, right? It is a quite the lovely series. As I said, it is in its second season, which has just started right now, and yeah, it's cool. We don't get a lot about him, the guy, which I think is fine, but you know, I wouldn't mind a little bit more. And there are a couple characters that are like kind of annoying, but not really annoying. They're like annoying so that they can like understand what's going on. Uh, there's like a warrior tribe of lizard men that do battle because whoever, you know, amongst each other like feats of strength, because if you win, you get to go through the door and you get to eat there, and everyone else has to wait for you to bring food back. So like it's like a rite of passage now that's like become like they have their own like thing. There are like some fairies that come in, uh, and they're like they could have hurt people because they've never seen humans before. Uh, but luckily, there's a dragon that's just like, hey, relax. You can't sing right now. It'll fuck people up. She's like, don't ruin this place for me. Don't embarrass me. It's pretty fun. There are like, those are the harpies. There's the fairy girls, and they're like really into sweets. They find out about sweets, they're psyched about it. I don't know. It's heartwarming and fun. Very easy to watch. Very chill series. Um, we got some time left in the stream. I'm doing some panel lining here, and while I'm panel lining, you could tell me about things you're checking out, you're playing. I beat Inscription, and hey, that game's fucked up. Uh, I liked the second act, which some people did not enjoy. Um, at one point, there is a reference to a certain card game that I played a lot of and enjoy very much. No spoilers, but there is a short reference to a card game that I really love, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" Um, I have not listened to Nextlander's spoiler cast on that, or spoiler section of their podcast. I skipped ahead because I hadn't finished it. Now I'm going to go back and do that. But yeah, Inscription is a wild game, and it gets even wilder. It fucking goes places. But also, like I said, I liked Act 2, and I guess some people didn't like Act 2. I think people didn't like Act 2 because Act 1 is so fucking great that when you're like, hey, do something else, people were like, I don't want to. I want to do the thing that I like. And I get that. But holy shit. That's real good. So I've been playing that. I beat Unpacking, which is beautiful and great. And a really fun contemplative game. And I don't want to, I mean, I want to move, but I don't want to unpack and move again. Reminded me of that. So great, good job. Been playing more Forza 5 than I expected, and also the first Phoenix Wright. Oh, nice, Lashbrook. That's fun. Yeah, I don't know what my next video game is going to be. I'm kind of waiting to hear what other people are playing. I'm playing Hearthstone. I got a couple decks that are fun. There was a mini expansion that came out. The mini expansion put out a 6-drop spell that makes my Evolved Shaman Wild deck fun. It definitely benefits from that. So I've been playing an Evolved deck again, which is probably my favorite deck in Hearthstone. So that's been real nice for me to have like one of my favorite decks be not viable but fun to play again because there's a good card that supports it. So I've been doing that. Okay, we got some we got Shin Megami Tensei players in here, some 5s checking it out. Second favorite desert rendering on the Switch. Does Unpacking take it? No. So here's the thing about Unpacking. It's just a sweet game about unpacking and watching through storytelling, watching this person evolve. So here's the thing, right? The thing that people talk about in Unpacking that some people just overlook and other people zoomed in on was when you move in with your boyfriend, it is the real experience of moving in with a partner and a cohabiter, in that some people are very selfish about you moving into their place. And some people were like, is this a start of the turn in Unpacking? Is this going to get dark? It's weird, and you really look at it, it's honest in how it's like, this sucks. That you don't have enough space, but it doesn't take like a dark, sad turn at any point. So you can keep reading. You can keep playing, I should say. I played a few levels, but still actually Unpacking, so not much of a game right now. And my partner had moved in about a month before the pandemic. Yeah. So when you move into somebody's place, right? They are giving up some of their space for you. And it should be that you are sharing a space, but it is perceived that, hey, I made this much space in this cabinet. Like, she doesn't have a place to put, like, to set up her, like, tablet and, like, set up her work. Like, there's no good place for that. And, like, you can really read into that. And some people were like, is this the beginning of a dark turn in the game? And it's like, no. But other people are just going to go, oh, this sucks. This is hard to do. And not look at it like that. So it's a little environmental storytelling, which I like. Like that Lego game that's sweet and turns. I can't do that. Yeah, no, Unpacking is not that. Like I said, you can read into like a little bit of frustration and sadness. And like I had some people being like, hey, is this like a thing that straight girls deal with cis straight guys? Like, are they this way where they like, you move in and they don't like make room for you in their life? Like, there's no place for you to hang your diploma? Like, is this the reality? And some people were like, no, that didn't happen to me. And other people were like, yeah, it's invading their space, not cohabitating. John says, she moved into my place. I ended up getting rid of a lot of stuff. The apartment never felt like ours, but mine. Yeah. And so that's the part where people were like really feeling themselves in the moment. And while some folks were like, oh, this storytelling bums me out. But not everybody read that way because not everybody has experienced that. Hey, I can't get this fucking hand to stay right in here. I'm going to have to put some putty in here or something because this arm does not want to stay in here. This little piece does not want to connect to the polycap and stay in there. I'm like shoving it in there and it's popping right out. So I'm gonna have to use some blue tack in here because it is not staying. I could do I don't want to use liquid cement in here, so I'm gonna use some blue tack and hopefully it's just the gap in there will go and it'll work out fine. But anyway, we're gonna wrap up the stream. I already know who we're gonna raid. We're gonna raid Desert Bus. That is what we do here. We always raid a stream, and tonight we are gonna raid the fine folks at Desert Bus. Desert Bus for Hope, raising money for the Child's Play charity, and having a real good time and doing real cool, weird things. So we're gonna go give them a raid. I just gotta bring it up. I should have bookmarked it, and I didn't. And then, sorry. There we go. Desert Bus. Let's see here. And, yep, they're live. We're gonna go raid them. There are almost all of them. Thanks for answering my dumb questions. They were not dumb. Thank you for asking questions. I appreciate it. You have a great night. We're going to go and set up this raid. We're going to go raid Desert Bus. They've got over 5,000 people watching. They don't need me to raid them, but it is fun to go and raid them. So we're going to go raid. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Desert Bus is good. Yeah. And I will see you next time. I'll be back on Monday, and we'll start working on the legs of this kit. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great night. I'll see everybody later. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.